A wiggly world, a wiggly world. It's never straight up and down. It's never straight up and down. Hey, everybody. Only recently have I begun to explore the letters of Epicurus. One of the wonderful, wonderful things that the internet is good for, and it doesn't have anything to do with porn, and here we are, we can actually look at multiple letters of Epicurus. We can look at his beliefs in metaphysics, his life, his ethics, the whole Epicurean philosophy. And this was a man that was born 7 years after Plato had just died. Now, I will not be touching on rationalism versus empirical data and the philosophies of Plato, although I would love to. Hopefully we'll get into philosophy in later episodes of A Wiggly World, and hopefully I won't sound like a complete moron when I speak on them. And here's Epicurus, a dude doing it over 2,300 years ago. What I will be focusing on for the death segment of the show is Epicurus' letter to Menoeceus. And I probably slaughtered that name. Now remember, once again, Epicurus in the Hellenistic period, and Aristotle was still alive. Epicurus was 19 when Aristotle died. So just to give you a little bit of time period when this sort of thing was going on. First, before we dive right into the death verses, let me begin with this nice paragraph, which I really enjoyed. Let no one be slow to seek wisdom when he is young, nor weary in search of it when he has grown old. For no age is too early or too late for the health of the soul. And to say that the season for studying philosophy has not yet come, or that it is past and gone, is like saying that the season for happiness is not yet, or that it is now no more. Therefore, both old and young alike ought to seek wisdom, the former in order that as age comes over him, he may be young in good things because of the grace of what he has been, and the later in order that while he is young, he may at the same time be old, because he has no fear of the things which are to come. So we must exercise ourselves in the things which bring happiness, since if that be present, we have everything, and if that be absent, all our actions are directed towards attaining it. He did not believe that in going to a castle and getting some rice when you get pudding. What is it? The virgin grapes. Is that what it really is, instead of virgins or virgin olives? Which one was it? Yeah, I think the Quran promises grapes, not virgins. So he didn't believe that he would get 72 grapes. When it goes to heaven, wherever that is, by the way. And, this is during the Hellenistic period as well. Now, you have to understand as well, Epicurus spoke on a lot of things. I mean, he spoke on infinity, grasping the concept of infinity, why he believed infinity existed, why things could be infinite. And so, and even one of my pet peeves, one of the pet peeves of Buckminster Fuller, another guy I really admire, that there is no up and down when you're dealing with this infinite space. So this guy was he was something. He didn't just speak about death and eating things and enjoying that. And if I could think a little bit clearer now, I believe that he even spoke out against a sort of the sentiment of, what a shame it is to only base things about, trying to please a God, or there's no reason a God would have anything to do with us. And So remember, this is 200 years before the Jesus person would be coming along there. So for all intents and purposes, he looked at death the same way that an atheist is almost forced to look at death, that it is the end of everything. Epicure says, accustom yourself to believing that death is nothing to us. Well, there you go. For good and evil imply the capacity for sensation, and death is the privation of all sentience. Therefore, a correct understanding that death is nothing to us makes the mortality of life enjoyable, not by adding to life a limitless time, but by taking away the yearning after immortality. For life has no terrors for him who has thoroughly understood that there are no terrors for him in ceasing to live. Foolish, therefore, is the man who says that he fears death, not because it will pain when it comes, but because it pains in the prospect. In other words, the anticipation of death is once you die, there's nothing anymore. It's just like before you were born. That didn't hurt before you were born, right? There's no worry about that. When you die, it's over. It's like when you go to bed. When you go to sleep, you don't have any dreams. You wake up the next day, you don't know what happened. You remember yesterday, you don't remember in between unless you had like dreams and nightmares and stuff like that. He goes on to say, whatever causes no annoyance when it is present causes only a groundless pain in the expectation. Death, therefore, the most awful of evils, is nothing to us, seeing that when we are, death is not come, and when death is come, we are not. It is nothing, then, either to the living or to the dead. For with the living it is not, and the dead exist no longer. How many times have I said, you cease to be? You cease to be. That's all that it is. So if you're dead, you're not going to really worry about being dead or dying or anything else. You have nothing to worry about anymore. It's the end of worry.